Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am your girl, Molinda Jae, and I'm here to bring you all the news that's been breaking across social media for the past several hours in regards to the the Titanic expedition exploring the submersible with these group of individuals basically paying a large lump sum of money to visit the ruins or the remains of the Titanic at the bottom of the North Atlantic Ocean, and they have went missing. So, without further ado, I do not want to keep you up, keep you on here longer. I want to make this video as simple as possible, but still with some lessons that we can learn from this situation. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this article so we can read about it. Okay, and this is coming from CNN.com, and it's been updated as of 8:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or just Eastern Time. So I'll say it's because it's 8:40 my time in Central Standard Time. So this was probably updated like an hour ago. So let's go ahead and read along. Let's read along together while I go dark. So it asks the question, what we know about the missing Titanic exploring submersible. And it reads, a submersible carrying 5 people to see the remains of the Titanic at the bottom of the North Atlantic Ocean is still missing despite a massive search operation by the United States and Canadian authorities. The Titan submersible had been on its way to the famous wreckage off the coast of St. John's, Newfoundland, in Canada when it lost contact with its support ship, leaving people on board with only enough oxygen for 3 to 4 days. Here's what we know so far. How did they go missing? The submersible was part of an 8-day journey conducted by Ocean Gate Expeditions. The trip is based out of Newfoundland, with participants first traveling 40 nautical miles to the wreck site, which is about 900 miles or 1,450 kilometers off the coast of Cape Cod, Massachusetts. The submersible began its 2-hour descent to the wreckage on Sunday morning. It lost contact with Polar Prince, the support ship that transported the vessel to the site 1 hour and 45 minutes into its descent. Officials say search operations began later that day. It's still not clear what happened to the submersible, why it lost contact, and how close to the Titanic it was when it went missing. So as you can see here, this is the picture right here that I just highlighted, that is underway for the missing Titanic submersible, with 5 people on board that went missing during the exhibition to the wreckage of the Titanic. So as you can see, this is Newfoundland. This is the departure location from St. John's, and then the Titanic wreckage is here. And who is on board? Well, 5 people on the board include 1 pilot and 4 mission specialists, said Rear Admiral John Mulgar, commander of the U.S. Coast Guard 1st District. Ocean Gate CEO founder Stockton Rush is among those on board, according to a source with the knowledge of the mission plan. The British businessman based in United Arab Emirates, Hamish Harden, is also on board, according to a social media post by the company he owns, Action Aviation. The sub had a successful launch in Hamish and is currently diving, the company said in an Instagram post on Sunday. Harden was one of the first people to travel the Challenger deep into the Pacific Ocean, the deepest known point on Earth. On Saturday, he wrote of the Titanic mission. I am proud to finally announce that I joined Ocean Gate Expeditions for the RMS Titanic mission as a mission specialist on the sub going down to the Titanic. And as you can see here, this is the image of what Hamish had posted of the submersible to his social media account on June 17th. So as you can see, this is a picture of the submersible. And I do have to say, it's a no for me, okay? Hardin had posted on social media Saturday saying that diver Paul Henry Narglet was scheduled to be on Sunday's dive with him. Narglet has led several expeditions to the Titanic and supervised the recovery of many artifacts from the wreck, according to EM Group, where Paul Henry was director of underwater research. CNN has attempted to reach out independently to Paul Henry with no success. A Pakistani businessman, Shahzada Dawood, and his son Suleiman Dawood were also on board, according to a statement released by the family on Tuesday. Contact has been lost. There is limited information available, it said. Dawood is a trustee of the SETI Institute, a research organization in California, according to its website. Oh, he rich. He's also vice president of the Wood Hercules Corporation, part of the Wood Group, a conglomerate of various businesses owned by the family. Authorities have not publicly identified the passengers on board and said Monday that they are still notifying their families. The Ocean Gate website says its expeditions, which cost up to $250,000, typically involve one pilot and a content expert and 3 paying passengers. How much time do these individuals have, as well as the search groups? So Coast Guard officials estimated on Monday, after the submersible had somewhat between 70 to full 96 hours of oxygen, potentially giving rescuers until Friday to locate and retrieve the vessel. On Tuesday, the U.S. Coast Guard official says that 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time news conference that the submersible had about 40 hours of oxygen left. The depth of the area where they went missing could pose a challenge. The deepest ever underwater rescue was that of Roger Chapman and Roger Mallinson, who were rescued from Pisces 3 submersible at depths of 1,575 feet in 1973. They were trapped for 76 hours before finally being hauled to the surface. The Titanic wreckage is much deeper, sitting nearly 13,000 feet below sea level. Other factors complicating the research include its remote location, local weather conditions, and unknowns like the state of the submersible and whether it has working equipment like acoustic pingers that can be detected by search teams, or pingers, I can't read tonight. According to CNN meteorologists, the area is seeing choppy seas up to 6 feet high and foggy conditions. While not unusual for the region, this could cause delays for search parties due to difficulty using aerial equipment and low clouds. Okay, so this is the Polar Prince, the vessel used to transport the submersible to the site of the Titanic wreckage. So what is a submersible? According to Ocean Gate, Titan is a 23,000-pound submersible made of carbon fiber and titanium. As a safety feature, the sub uses a proprietary real-time whole health monitoring RTM system that analyzes the pressures on vessels and the integrity of the structure. The company states any issues detected would trigger an early warning to the pilot to leave enough time to safely return to the surface. Unlike a submarine, a submersible has limited power reserve, so it needs a mothership that can launch and recover it, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. When CBS correspondent David Pogue took a trip on a Titan down the Titanic wreck last year on the invitation of the Ocean Gate, he said the hatch was sealed from the outside with 17 bolts. There was no other way out. So basically, one way in, one way out, and you're bolted in there. With no GPS underwater, the submersible is only guided by text message from the surface ship. On Pogue's trip, the communications broke down during a dive, and the submersible was lost for over 2 hours, he said. The pilot uses a video game controller to steer the sub, but if that fails, a hardwire system can control the propellers. Aaron Newman, who made the trip down to the Titanic aboard the Titan in 2021, told CNN Tom's Foreman. Thrusters are powered by an external electrical system, and internal system provides power for the steering controls, communications, and a heater, he added. The sub uses ballast to stay underwater. To release the ballast, the occupants rock the ship. Newman said, if that maneuver does not dislodge it, they have a pneumatic pump to knock the weights free. If all else fails, the lines securing the ballast are designed to fall apart after 24 hours to automatically send the sub to the surface, according to Newman, who is now an investor with OceanGate. Yeah, y'all got a lot of money on the line, okay? Y'all about to have some lawsuits on your hand as well if y'all don't retreat them folks. Thomas Shugart, a former U.S. submarine captain and analyst at the Center of the New American Security, told CNN it didn't bode well that search parties still haven't searched or heard from the missing submersible. If they had a relatively minor issue that forced them to surface unexpectedly, one could think that a locator beacon would have been detected by now. If instead they are stuck on the bottom for some reason, I have yet to hear of a rescue capability that could get them back in time, he said. Lastly, what search operations are underway and how might it be rescued? The U.S. Coast Guard tweeted on Monday that the search will continue during the night. It began scanning the ocean surface on Sunday when the submersible was first reported missing. Boats, aircraft, and radar equipment were deployed to scan above water in case the submersible had surfaced. Sonar buoys and sonar equipment in commercial vessels on site were also being used to detect sounds below water. The U.S. Coast Guard is coordinating the search with the U.S. Navy and the Canadian Coast Guard and the Canadian military. Also, OceanGate said it has received assistance from government agencies and deep sea companies. The Polar Prince, to the ship that was supporting the submersible, is also assisting with the search with the co-owner, said. But finding the submersible is just the first step. Rescuing it could be a whole other challenge. Y'all would need like a big crane, that is able to withstand the water or withstand the pressure of the water and the weight that you have to slowly pull that vessel up out of there. There's so many things, y'all. Let me finish this article. Depending where and what depth the submersible is found, there could be a limited options for the rescue vessel. That's what I'm saying. For instance, the U.S. Navy nuclear powered submarines usually operate at 800 feet or less, meaning they can't dive down to the ocean floor where water pressure on the submarine hull could make it implode. The Navy does not have specialized rescue submersibles, but even those can only make rescues at depths up to 2,000 feet, according to the Navy's Underwater Rescue Command. During the 1970 rescue, authorities used other submersibles and a remotely operated Navy-developed recovery vessel to attach lines to Pisces 3, which were then used to pull it back to the surface. It's not clear whether these methods could work for the Titan, even the uncertainty around its location. Man, that's unfortunate. So, in the grand scheme of things, it looks like, well, it is history repeating itself for one thing. So a previous incident like this happened years ago, in 1973. So let's do the math on that. So that's 2023 minus 1973. That would, oh no, hold on now. 2023 minus, not plus, 1973. That's about 50 years ago, exactly. Half a century. So they were able to do operations accordingly to remove the Pisces 3 vessel on there. So they're saying that what I'm getting from this article is that the submersible went so far that it's possible that it cannot be reachable. But at this grand scheme of things, this is a test of time, and to how advanced technology really is at this moment. What I mean by that is that, if there was a cord attached to it, and I was discussing this with my mom this afternoon, did the cord break because if it was a cord, did it break because of the cool temperatures of the water, the cool temperatures of the depths of the oceanic area? Did it cause frostbite for it to break to some degree? So to say the least, I have questions. Y'all know me, I have questions. So my first question is, why go down there? Why go down there? And I agree with a couple of people that are on the social media networks that was talking about, yo, we have so many documentaries out here about the Titanic. So many people have went down there for the deep dive to view the Titanic, and y'all still trying to attempt the thing with people in there, with people in the vessel to look at the wreckage. And it's a repeat of history to a certain degree with this vessel and the Titanic vessel, because the captain had to go down with the Titanic ship, because that's just the protocol, the etiquette in regards to the captain holding the ship down, because you are in charge of the ship. And therefore, with the CEO of the expedition in that vessel, it's like, oh my goodness, not only you putting money into this quote unquote passion project of you wanting to view the wreckage yourself, even though there's plenty of documentaries, movies about it, and all that sorts, firsthand encounters and all sorts of things, but you are trapped on there yourself, and due to the fact that you are a CEO, you're technically the president of, the submersible, even though you're not the one navigating it, but of course you're your name is on the line just as much as the company's name is on the line. And I'm pretty sure the shareholders and the investors are literally clenching their pearls at this moment, because if y'all don't bring that vessel up in time, as well as the people coming in that's in the vessel come out alive, y'all gonna be in trouble, or for real. Okay. And also, this is a true testament in time about the wealth that people accumulate. And yeah, the the wealth that you accumulate, it shows the dangers of the wealth. When people attain wealth and this type of capacity, to where you're paying $250 for just this voyage itself, and when that could go to other ventures, is like a dopamine high of, I've accumulated all this money and I've gotten everything that I wanted and have done everything on my bucket list to here and there. And now I'm just looking for the next thrill. That way I can add it to my bucket list, as well as bragging rights and this, and the list goes forward. And that is a problem at its finest, to be able to accumulate that much wealth to where you are risking your life. Because there was even folks on the social media saying that, the document said the word DEATH 3 times and y'all still signed the document. So it was like, is no different than risking your life trying to climb Mount Everest, even though you are putting yourself at risk of not coming back alive from climbing the tallest mountain in the world. So, to say the least, this is a true testament in time to go with your gut, right? And when you accumulate that much wealth and you still trying to figure out the next thrill of your life, that needs some reevaluation as well, because that particular thrill can be redirected to something else, because now your life is at risk because you signed a document that gave you plenty of warnings ahead of time, but you due to the fact that you want to be the first to do something, you want to have bragging rights. And of course, it's an experience in its whole self. Again, that just puts yourself in danger at all costs. And I do have to send my condolences to the families that are involved, of the people that are missing in this wreckage. But we all have to use our discernment when it comes to these situations like this, to say the least. And is definitely a matter of time. We are running on time. Well, they are running on time at this moment. Time. And they have to look at the weather. They have to look at the ocean conditions and all that, just to make sure everyone who is doing the dive and searching for those individuals come back alive as well. Okay. Even though they signed up for the job, they are the companies that they are employed with, they are held liable as well. So without further ado, I'm gonna leave y'all to it. Please share your thoughts in the comment section down below on what is happening in basically in real time at this moment of search and rescue, searching for the missing submersible, as well as the occupants that are in it as well. Because with the depths of the ocean, in that capacity, you can't see nothing. The lack of oxygen is slim to none, and is definitely a matter of life and death at this point. So without further ado, I'm gonna leave y'all to it. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit that notification bell so you know the next time I upload a video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.